Hi, Dr. Gimmer here. People always ask me a lot of questions, and especially parents asking me questions regarding their kids. One thing that I've been asked many, many times is, what about fevers? Should we lower them? Should we let them run? Well, I never tell parents specifically what to do with their child. That's their decision. I don't want that to be upon me one way or the other, but I'll give you some thinking on this and my own personal experiences on this. First off, as many of you know, I have 10 children. And as these children were growing up, they got lots of childhood diseases, especially because we didn't vaccinate. So they got chickenpox and they got measles, and one of them got mumps, one of them got whooping cough, and they got various things like this that kids are kind of normally supposed to get. And did I ever lower their fevers? Not once. Now, we did do things to make them comfortable, but we never attempted to lower their fevers. Not with aspirin, not with Tylenol, not with ice, nothing. Now, the reason why, first off, is that by these children getting these childhood diseases, they get lifelong immunity against these diseases. That's one reason. Another reason is that by getting fever conditions when they're young, they have far stronger immunity against serious conditions such as cancer when they're older. And that's the second reason we never tried to lower their fevers. Now, how did the idea to lower fevers come about? Well, about 100 years ago, a little over 100 years ago, I think it was Bayer came out with aspirin. It became very popular back around then, but they wanted to sell more of it, so they got the idea of sending everybody a thermometer. And then they said, well, if your thermometer says your temperature is this high, then you should take aspirin for it. Now, turns out that in about 1916, 1918, a little more than 100 years ago, there were pneumonia and flu epidemics that swept across North America, and especially in the Great Plains states and provinces. And so there were huge numbers of people died from this. But get this, in those that tried to lower the fevers when they got these, they died at staggering rates. Some towns lost a fourth, sometimes even a third of their people. Now, also back then, however, there were some osteopaths and some chiropractors that said, hey, this is natural. Why don't we, instead of lowering the fever, why don't we actually help to raise it a little? And so when somebody had the pneumonia or the flu, when their fever went up, they would wrap them in some wool sweaters or blankets, and then the fever let down, they would just give them some water, and then up it went again. They would wrap them in wool blankets and sweaters again. And it was reported in the Osteopathic Journal in the United States that they never lost a single person, none, that they did this on, whereas the other ones that were lowering fevers lost them at a staggering rate. So that's a little bit to think with there. Now, what else about the fevers? I guess the thing is, you don't need to worry about them. The other concept here is that you have to, if you want to have strength and a position on this, you have to realize that we all, built into us, is an innate intelligence, and the innate intelligence has, more than anything else, one function, and that is to make us survive. And because of this thrust to make us survive, our innate intelligence will not do things that are contrary to our survival. You need to really understand that, have that just really rooted in you, and then you won't worry about the fevers just like I didn't. Now, I want to tell you about one situation though, and that is, if your baby or your child has a high fever, there can be another reason for it. And this is a reason that is addressed by chiropractors. You see, if certain vertebrae in the spine, and very commonly the upper neck, if the vertebrae get out a little bit through birth injuries or through falls, and a lot of babies fall from car seats or high chairs or shopping carts and things like this, but if they have a fall off the bed or the countertop, whatever, and get their neck or back knocked out of place, then it can make it so that the ability for the brain to control the temperature right isn't functioning properly. And because of this, most of the people that run in my circles, if their baby does get a fever, they take it to a chiropractor to make sure the neck and back are dialed in correctly. If they are, they don't worry about it. And if there's a problem, it's a very gentle adjustment on the spine, and many times the fever goes away within seconds. By the way, this topic and many others on how to have a healthy child are addressed in this book that I wrote. It's called How to Have Healthy Children in Spite of Western Medicine, Trashy Foods, and Know-It-All Relatives. If you haven't got this book yet, golly, get it. It's awesome. You're going to love it. I mean, I really put a lot into this, and I'm giving it away free. Just take care of shipping, handling, and we will get it out to you. So look around here on the site or go to one of my other videos and you'll see how to get this book free. It'll change your life. This has so much information in it on how to have healthy children in today's world. So go ahead and get that, and we'll see you again on another video soon.